A cluster of writhing eyes grew on the girl's thigh. Scared, she continuously slapped her own thigh, but accidentally, she flicked that cluster of eyes onto the face of a nearby woman in purple. Yet the eyes on the girl's thigh did not decrease because of this. Instead, they grew more and more numerous, and on the face of the woman in purple who was splashed, the same situation began to appear. Seeing the eyes already spreading all over her body, the girl's emotions began to lose control. Desperate, she cried out to a nearby man for help. But the moment the two made contact, those eyes, as if possessing self-awareness, actively crawled onto the man's hand. Seeing this, the man quickly flung the girl away. Clutching his hand, he ran wildly towards the hospital. Our group was also frightened by this scene. We quickly rushed into the cable car and closed the door. Lee Hong-mei, who had not entered the cable car, was completely unaware of what was happening outside. Looking at her best friend collapsed on the ground. She wanted to open the door. Seeing this, a classmate nearby quickly stopped her. "Hong-mei, are you foolish? Can't you see those disgusting things on the ground? Those all came from Minute Kyushin's body. He was just like a monster earlier. Are you saying my friend is a monster?" I ignored their argument, just silently watching out the window. The next second, a large hand slapped against the window. It was Minute Chotian, his body festering all over, repeatedly banging on the cable car door with his hand, asking us for help. The horrific sight terrified the few people inside the car. They all fled towards the back. Following a scream, Chotian outside the door exploded. Everyone's mobile phones also at this moment received an emergency disaster message. The content stated that an unknown virus had appeared throughout the city, urging everyone to take precautions. At this moment, Blondie looked at Minute Chotian again, and instantly fell to the ground in fear. I turned my head to look, and found Chotian, who had been blown beyond recognition, now standing stiffly outside the window. Everyone was too scared to even breathe loudly. Just then, someone suggested finding a person to go up and talk, to see if Chotian had regained consciousness. After saying that, several people started pushing me. "Lee Yenyu, you're close. You go up and take a look." Naturally, I was unwilling to do such a dangerous thing. I was about to pass it off to the person next to me, but I found that standing in the same row was the goddess I had a crush on for 3 years, Piyu Xiaoyan. She was already trembling with fear. Helpless, I could only brace myself and go check. Just as I was about to ask, Minute Chotian suddenly turned his head. Several unsuspecting escapees wanted to come here to take the cable car and leave, but they happened to encounter the mutated Minute Chotian. Before they could understand the situation, Kyushin's head shot out directly, firmly sticking to the man's head. Those eyes also began to burrow into the man's body. A moment later, the assimilation was complete, and I slowly walked to the door, and locked the cable car door tightly. Everyone was startled by my action, looking at them in confusion, explaining no matter what, "It's safer to lock the door, right? It would be troublesome if the door was opened." As soon as I finished speaking, a man with glasses kept ramming the cable car door. "Open the door quickly, let me in, that thing is coming." Seeing that we were all unmoved, the man with glasses started frantically pulling the door handle, but the next second, he was engulfed by the mutated Chotian. Now, Kyushin's body no longer resembled a human, more like a mass of writhing worms. After assimilating the man with glasses, he stood guard at the door, staring intently at me. Just then, another pair of people who wanted to take the cable car arrived. Chotian, welcoming all comers, pounced on them. A moment later, the screams stopped, and Chotian outside the cable car was nowhere to be seen. At this time, a man in a hat stood up, and yanked open the cable car's skylight, wanting to escape during the monster's disappearance. Seeing this, Blondie quickly told the hat man to come down. "Everyone is running towards us now, meaning the outside has already fallen. If you leave from here, you won't even know how you died. Listen to me, well just wait here for rescue. What right do you have to say such things to us?" Jiang Nan said, trembling. "If you hadn't closed the door just now, Chotian wouldn't have died. I never said anything about closing the door. This is all your reckless doing." Blondie was furious upon hearing this. "I did this to save you all, and now you turn around and blame me for everything. If Li Yenyu hadn't locked the door just now, we would have died long ago. Saying such things now, if you really have the guts, get out now. All you know is how to blame others." Jiang Nan was scolded to tears. Li Hongmei quickly told Blondie to say a few less words. Blondie suddenly felt a wave of grievance. He was clearly the one who spoke ill of others first, and he even cried, truly speechless. Suddenly, the walkie-talkie nearby made a sound. Are there any survivors? This is the control room. After learning about the situation inside the cable car, the administrator controlled the cable car to move downwards. Just when everyone thought they were saved, the cable car suddenly stopped in mid-air, and there was no response from the walkie-talkie. But 2.5 minutes later, the cable car started moving again. This strange behavior made me feel a sense of danger. I quickly went to the window to check, only to find the entire control room was already covered by those eyes. There wasn't a single living person. Due to the lack of staff control, the cable car crashed straight into the wall. When we came to our senses, we realized a monster was staring at us from outside. But what was worse, the cable car's glass had cracked from the impact earlier, and that monster was passing through that hole, crawling into the cable car. Everyone was scared and ran towards the back, seeing that most of the monster's body had entered the cable car. In a critical moment, Blondie kicked the glass, shattering it, leading everyone to run forward frantically. Due to being too nervous, Pu Xiaoyan accidentally fell. Seeing this, I quickly turned back to pull her up, but because of this, I got separated from Blondie and the others, so I could only pull her and run wildly downstairs. But just then, Pu Xiaoyan said she couldn't run anymore. I turned my head to look, and found her leg was bleeding. Pu Xiaoyan explained, she accidentally got injured when she just got out of the cable car, telling me not to worry, and expressed her gratitude for my actions just now. Suddenly, screams of classmates came from downstairs. I saw them all frantically running upstairs. I was a bit puzzled. Why are you all coming up again? The Hat Man told me the first floor was full of monsters. It was impossible to go there. So, the few of us had to run upstairs. A moment later, we found a clean floor. After confirming there were no monsters inside, we all breathed a sigh of relief, and decided to rest there for a while. But I was recalling the scene from just now. I thought I was done for earlier, but luckily, I helped Xiaoyan, and even received her thanks. Just then, the bloodstains left by Xiaoyan caught my attention. A sense of foreboding instantly arose in my heart. I immediately followed the bloodstains, and happened to encounter that monster. After 2.5 seconds, that monster raised its hand and lunged at me. Fortunately, I reacted quickly and dodged the attack, then quickly got up and ran fast. That monster is chasing us. Hearing this, everyone quickly ran towards the exit. Jinju Bing, running at the very front, was about to close the door. Luckily, Blondie stopped him. After escaping danger, Blondie grabbed Jinju Bing by the neck. You bastard, are you trying to get us killed? Believe it or not, I'll kill you right now. Seeing this situation, the classmates all came forward to mediate, and I told them my discovery. Look, isn't this the cable car we just rode? That means the entrances and exits on each floor are connected. We just went around in a circle. At this moment, Jiang Nan ran up, panting, are you okay? Also, why didn't Li Hongmei and Pu Xiaoyan follow? It turned out that Xiaoyan and Hongmei were running slowly just now, and were coincidentally blocked by the monster. At this time, they were hiding behind a wall, waiting for the monster to leave. Little did they know, that monster had already, through the smell of blood on her leg, locked onto her. Just as Pu Xiaoyan was about to be devoured by the monster, I directly pushed open the door, rushed in, and shouted, successfully attracting the monster's attention. Then, without looking back, under Pu Xiaoyan's astonished gaze, I led the monster away. The corridor was covered in slime where the monster had crawled. I almost fell because of it. I subconsciously looked back and found the monster right behind me, and it was getting closer and closer to me. But luckily, the exit was just ahead. After getting out, I decisively closed the door, successfully shaking off the monster. Then I prepared to return to the previous floor, to regroup with my classmates. But when I pushed open the door, I found they were all gone, and there was a large hole in the window. I quickly looked out the window, and a wave of bitterness instantly filled my heart. They had all abandoned me and fled. Even the goddess I had risked my life to save just now, only glanced back at me once, and then decisively left with them. I was abandoned by everyone like this. I originally wanted to jump down from that hole, and follow them, but I found that those eyes had already covered the path. Helpless, I could only take out my phone and send a message in the class group chat. Classmates, I'm still here. Damn it, why is no one responding to me? Suddenly, a disaster escape message. Then, a message notification sound came from the toilet. I was startled. Could there be someone else here? I followed the sound. After opening the toilet door, I found Jinju Bing squatting inside. Why didn't you follow them? Were you abandoned by them too? Hearing this, Jinju Bing said he wasn't abandoned at all. He found them a nuisance, so he didn't want to go with them. Then I tried to call the police for help, but still, no one answered. Just like that, we stayed there for an hour. Jinju Bing's emotions also began to break down, constantly muttering complaints. Suddenly, the sound of a fire truck came from nearby, and their destination was a burning building. Seeing this, I suddenly had an idea. If the floor we were on caught fire, then the fire department would definitely come to rescue us when they saw it. Thinking of this, I quickly rushed to the trash can and started rummaging. Surprisingly, I actually found a discarded lighter. But just then, there was a noise outside the door. Jinju Bing was also scared and stammering. I peeked my head out. I don't know when I found that monster had already arrived at the door. I immediately proceeded with the plan to light a fire on the 3rd floor, while Jinju Bing was responsible for watching the monster on the 2nd floor. Once the monster disappeared, he could promptly notify me to evacuate. But what we didn't expect was, there was more than one monster here. I had just lit the flame when another monster appeared on the car roof and lunged at me fiercely. Because the distance was too close, I couldn't dodge at all. In a critical moment, I threw the burning paper ball in my hand at the monster. Unexpectedly, the moment the monster touched the flame, it began to burn violently, turning into a pile of sludge amidst screams. Just as I breathed a sigh of relief, Jinju Bing's call came through. Come down quickly. The monster on the 2nd floor is gone. It seems to be heading your way. Hearing this news, I originally wanted to go back the way I came, but the previous path was already blocked by the raging fire. I couldn't go back at all now. Worse still, that monster had already come up behind me and was slowly approaching me. To survive, I took off my clothes, then put them in the fire to ignite them. Just as the monster was about to pounce, I directly swung the burning clothes at it. Then, with a quick leap, I distanced myself from the monster. The burning flames made the monster scream in pain, but it didn't intend to let me go because of this. It still crawled towards me with its mouth open. Seeing no way to retreat, I hardened my heart and threw the only source of fire in my hand towards the monster. But because this was outdoors, a sudden gust of wind caused the clothes to land off target, resulting in it not landing on the monster. I instantly looked ashen. This only hope was also gone. I could only watch helplessly as the monster lunged at me. Just when I thought I was going to die here, a burning ball of paper was thrown from behind, landing squarely on the monster. I looked up and saw it was Jinju Bing. What are you dazing for, Yenyu? Hurry up and run. Hearing this, I quickly followed him running downstairs, but the way back was covered in slime from the monster's crawling. Jinju Bing suddenly slipped and fell forward, almost touching the blisters on the ground. I quickly went forward to help him up, but then a familiar sound came from downstairs. Turning my head, I saw another blister monster crawling up. Seeing this, both of us felt our scalps tingle. We quickly ran into the hall and closed the door, successfully blocking the monster outside. We thought we were safe this way, but upon closer inspection, we were horrified to find that monster was squeezing through the door crack. Helpless, we could only continue running towards the exit ahead, only to find the only exit was also blocked by monsters. Suddenly, the fire alarm on the 2nd floor went off. This meant the 3rd floor was already burning. Our only option now is to set fire to the monsters, to buy time, but at the critical moment, this lighter just wouldn't light. Just then, another monster from the previously smashed hole crawled in. We were scared and retreated. We were now completely surrounded, utterly desperate. Seeing the monster that crawled in through the glass, already halfway in, Jinju Bing roared, picked up a flower pot and smashed it hard at the monster. With a clang, that monster was smashed to pieces by the flower pot. Seeing the monster motionless, Golden Pig Bing looked proud. Did Li Yenyu see it? Who's the coward? Who's been abandoned? I just found those people a nuisance. That's why I chose to go alone. Also, you have to call me Big Brother when you see me in the future. After all, I saved your life, twice. I looked at Jinju Bing, somewhat surprised. I was about to praise him, but was horrified to find the monster that was just smashed had silently stood up again. I quickly told him to watch his back, Before Jinju Bing could react, that monster shot out a blob of water, firmly sticking Jinju Bing's head. Li Yanyu, quick, save me, save me. Seeing this, I desperately pressed the lighter, trying to use the flame to repel the monster, but no matter how I pressed, it wouldn't light. At this time, Jinju Bing's entire body was covered in blisters. Gradually, he lost signs of life, and the lighter in my hand finally lit. Just as I was about to go forward and save Jinju Bing, the monster that had squeezed through the door crack had completely entered the hall, and was rapidly approaching me. I grabbed a branch and lit it, and swung it fiercely at the monster in front of me. The burning flame stung the monster, causing it to spit out Jinju Bing. Before I could adjust much, another monster lunged fiercely at me. I immediately struck again with the branch, hitting it hard on the head. The monster, having taken this blow, became weak, and I seized the opportunity to throw the burning branch at the monster. The moment it made contact, a large fire ignited. After a moment, that monster was burned motionless. Looking at the one collapsed to the side, Jinju Bing, gradually being engulfed by flames. My heart was filled with guilt. I'm sorry, I still couldn't help. But what I didn't know was, the crisis was not over yet. 2 more monsters suddenly climbed up the glass behind me. I was scared and quickly ran away. Turning my head, I found new monsters entering the hall. To avoid becoming a monster, I set the entire hall on fire. The thick smoke triggered the alarm. The fire sprinklers began to sprinkle water. I was choked and coughing, collapsing weakly on the ground. My consciousness gradually faded, and those monsters rushing towards me were also burned motionless by the fire. As I was about to lose consciousness, I looked at the hand that had just grabbed the branch, only to find those disgusting bubbles had also appeared on my palm, and were constantly writhing and spreading. Due to lack of oxygen, I could no longer move. If this continued, I would definitely perish in the sea of fire. In a daze, I heard the sound of a fire truck heading towards me. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself in a shelter, and my previously infected right hand had also been bandaged. Meanwhile, on the other side, the companions who had abandoned me were hiding in a bus, evading the monster's attack. Li Hongmei started a live stream, communicating with the surviving fans. Now, out of all our classmates, only the 5 of us are temporarily alive. At this moment, a fan informed Hongmei that the area was about to be sealed off. I heard you can take a train out from the city station now. You should go check it out quickly. The few people who received the information immediately prepared to go to the city station. Suddenly, Blondie heard a noise outside the car. He pushed Hongmei down and alerted his nearby companions. Outside the car window, there was a blister monster roaming around. Just as that monster was about to get on the bus to check, a passing cat caught its attention. Then it started chasing after the cat. Seeing the monster leave, the few of them prepared to walk to the Lucia exhibition 1.4 kilometers away. What about Li Yanyu then? What about Yanyu? Blondie turned his head and found Pu Xiaoyan speaking. Yanyu should still be there waiting for us. When I escaped just now, I saw him on the 2nd floor. Why don't we go back and save him together? Hearing this, Blondie just turned his head and sighed. If you encounter the same situation, you can abandon me too. Our priority now is to get to the station as soon as possible. Besides, it's too late to go back now. You should know, in that kind of place, he couldn't possibly survive. On the way to City A station, the group encountered many monsters, but they luckily managed to avoid them. Finally, they even met a kind restaurant owner who took them in. After a short rest, the group prepared to continue towards A City Station's shelter, but walking there from here would take 20 minutes. It was really too dangerous. I really don't know what you're worrying about. ISNT, there a bus driver here. Just walk 50 meters ahead, and you'll see the bus I parked. And the inside of the bus is very clean. After all, I was the last one to get off. Hearing this, the officer uncle nearby asked the owner for some beer and gasoline, preparing to make some Molotov cocktails for the road. A moment later, the Molotov cocktails were made. After everyone had packed up, they followed the officer uncle's lead towards the shelter. They avoided the blister monsters they encountered on the road if possible, and used Molotov cocktails for those they couldn't avoid. Soon, the driver found his bus, shouting loudly for everyone to hurry over. But just as the driver was passing another bus, a blister monster suddenly jumped out and lunged fiercely at the driver. The driver was scared and dodged backwards, but accidentally bumped into Pu Xiaoyan behind him. Nearby, the Hat Man holding a Molotov cocktail was also knocked down. Blondie turned his head and threw the Molotov cocktail in his hand, successfully eliminating the monster inside the bus. Looking at the freshly made Molotov cocktails shattered on the ground, Blondie was furious. How can you not even hold a beer bottle properly? Now they are all broken. What are we going to do if we encounter monsters again? What a bunch of brainless fools. Hearing this, the driver was also furious, saying Blondie had no manners and didn't know how to respect adults. Hearing this, Li Hongmei also started to blame the driver. It was clearly you who bumped into someone and broke the bottle. How can you say that about Kui Daihan? Seeing everyone pointing fingers at him, the driver angrily threatened, "You bunch of scoundrels. You don't want to take my bus. You want to walk to the shelter yourselves, right?" As soon as these words were spoken, everyone fell silent. Only Blondie slowly approached the driver, glaring at him fiercely. To prevent the conflict from escalating, Pu Xiaoyan proactively spoke up and took the blame, saying she accidentally fell, causing all the Molotov cocktails to be damaged. "Please forgive me this time." Seeing the innocent girl take the blame for him, the driver couldn't say anything more, and told everyone to quickly get on the bus and prepare to leave. But just then, the owner ran over from behind, looking terrified, while constantly shouting, "Kids, run quickly, run." Behind the owner was a cat covered in blisters. The next second, a ball of mucus stuck to the owner. Then the cat fiercely pounced on him and started tearing at him. Everyone was scared and quickly ran onto the bus. The driver was extremely frightened at this point. Without waiting for the remaining people to get on, he directly closed the bus door. No matter how Blondie banged on the door, the driver remained unmoved, just muttering to himself, "I can't risk it for these guys. I must get home quickly." Saying so, he started the bus. Li Hongmei also noticed something was wrong, and immediately went to stop him. "Uncle, what are you doing? My friends haven't even gotten on the bus yet. Stop quickly, we can't leave them here." Hearing this, the driver looked at the photo of himself and his daughter on the bus, instantly gritted his teeth, and slapped Hongmei beside him. "I can't stop. My daughter is still waiting for me." Blondie, seeing Hongmei hit, instantly flew into a rage, and roared fiercely at the driver on the bus. "You motherfucker. I will definitely take you down." To this, the driver just gave Blondie a cold look, stepped on the gas, and left with the few girls on the bus. Now Blondie and his group only had one Molotov cocktail. Wanting to walk to safety was extremely difficult. But what was even worse, behind them, there were 4 infected cats again at some point. Seeing this, the Hat Man quickly lit the last Molotov cocktail, and handed it to the officer uncle. "Everyone, quickly hide behind me. When I throw the Molotov cocktail, you all run backwards quickly." As soon as he finished speaking, those infected cats shot out a stream of blisters. Seeing this, the uncle seized the opportunity and smashed the Molotov cocktail at them, instantly igniting those few cats. Then he led everyone running towards the rear. On the way, they passed a clean convenience store. The group planned to hide inside and get some food, but found the door had already been locked from the inside. At this moment, the Hat Man noticed a gas station nearby, and immediately grabbed Blondie and ran towards the gas station. As they left, Blondie glanced into the store, and surprisingly found traces of someone having been active inside. But the most important thing now was to find a place to hide. Soon, the group entered the gas station. Through the transparent window of the rest area, they discovered the cats that should have been burned to death had actually caught up. Only its appearance had become pitch black, and various parts of its body seemed to be temporarily pieced together. Seeing this, the uncle recalled the scene from earlier. "When we were escaping then, I clearly saw one cat survive. Then it started to feed on its companions' corpses. All signs indicated this cat was likely the rumored amalgamate." At this time, that amalgamate cat was opening its mouth, searching for the scent of living creatures. Fortunately, the group was at a gas station. The strong smell of gasoline masked their scent. The group was temporarily safe. Subsequently, Blondie kept dialing Li Hongmei's phone, but it kept showing no answer. This made Blondie extremely worried. "Damn it. When I meet that driver again, I will definitely make him pay." Just then, screams came from the convenience store in the distance. Several survivors ran out from inside, and following behind them was the amalgamate cat from earlier. Soon, they ran to the gas station entrance, while shouting, "Classmates, open the door quickly. We were really sorry just now. We were about to open the door when you left. It wasn't that we intentionally didn't open the door." Of course, Blondie wouldn't believe their nonsense, and immediately told them all to scram. Don't lure the monster over. Seeing that they couldn't be fooled, another survivor picked up a stool and started smashing the door. But what they didn't notice was that Amalgamate had already come up behind them. Opening its large mouth, it pounced on the door-smashing guy, and the glass door was shattered as a result. Seeing this, the group quickly ran towards the office, and the two people with him were now scared stiff by this scene. Just when they didn't know what to do, the officer uncle shouted at them, "There's no time. Quick, come to me." Hearing this, Blondie quickly stepped forward to stop them, letting them come over at this time. "We will also be in danger." But the uncle was completely unconcerned about this. "If the restaurant owner hadn't taken us in earlier, we would have died long ago. So we should also help others now." Seeing the two about to run into the office, the Amalgamate cat seemed to sense something, suddenly stopped eating, and shot several blisters at the two. In a critical moment, a fan flew over, smashing the cat's head to a pulp, and the person who threw it was Blondie, who had just opposed the idea. Seeing the uncle looking at him in surprise, Blondie said puzzledly, "What's wrong? Didn't you say we should help others?" Seeing the two run in, the uncle also immediately closed the door, thinking they were safe this way. But the next second, the door was banged loudly. Seeing this, the uncle quickly went forward to hold the door, and told the others to quickly move things to block the door. A moment later, the door was tightly blocked by heavy objects. Listening to the banging sound getting smaller and smaller, the group's anxious hearts finally settled. Then, Officer Wu began to communicate with the two survivors, learning that the distance from here to the shelter was less than 1 kilometer. Just then, the Hat Man, from the office desk drawer, luckily found a car key. He was just about to tell Tong this good news, but was horrified to find, "I don't know when under my feet, a mass of writhing blisters had appeared." It turned out the cat had turned into a liquid form, and squeezed in through the door crack. Seeing this, Officer Wu directly picked up a stool and smashed the window, telling everyone to escape through the window. The Hat Man running in front told everyone to look out for a car with the same brand as the car key, but there were too many similar cars in the parking lot. It was impossible to determine which one it was. Suddenly, a tanker truck caught Officer Wu's attention. He immediately asked the Hat Man for the car key and started testing. With a rumble, the car successfully started. Officer Wu also quickly called everyone to get in. Meanwhile, that monster had already caught up, decisively shooting a blister forward, tightly wrapping around the green-clothed woman's neck, then pouncing her to the ground. "Xianji, quick, save me." Hearing his sister's scream, the man just glanced back once, then turned and ran towards the car, shouting excitedly, "Quick, quick, drive." Blondie and his group were stunned. "Aren't you going to save your sister?" Hearing this, the man roared angrily, "Can't you see that monster? Hurry up and drive." This cold reply surprised Officer Wu somewhat. Then he started the car and drove off. Soon, they arrived at the city station. Looking at the clean floors and road, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Just when they thought they were finally saved, their phones simultaneously popped up an emergency message. The content was that H Station's danger level had changed from level 2 to level 3. Everyone didn't understand what this meant, but when they looked up, they found the previously clean floors were now covered with writhing blister monsters. As the car went deeper, those blister monsters became more and more numerous, even actively charging at the vehicle. The monster's slime made the wheels slip, until it crashed into the car in front and stopped. The group looked ahead in horror, and found the road ahead was blocked, and that blister monster also wanted to take the opportunity to climb onto the car window. Seeing this, Officer Wu slammed on the accelerator and quickly started reversing. Then, with a sharp turn, while flinging the monster off, braking into the road next to it, continuing towards the shelter. Just when they were only 200 meters from the shelter, the man with glasses discovered, on a bus not far away, several survivors were hiding, and outside that bus was already surrounded by the monster's slime. Seeing them all with pleading expressions, Officer Wu directly stopped the car. This action scared the uncle, questioning Officer Wu, "Why did you stop the car? Are you crazy? The shelter is right in front of us. Don't risk our lives." Because of your kindness, These words made Officer Wu fall silent, recalling the scene of his fiancée being devoured by a monster. Her helpless eyes still haunted him. Feeling guilty, he didn't want to see people in need die again. Then he quickly got out of the car and ran towards the back, wanting to use the gasoline in the car to set a fire and clear the monsters. Blondie asked the uncle for a lighter, then got out of the car to persuade Officer Wu, "We are not knights in shining armor. Can we stop helping, please?" Hearing Blondie's words, Officer Wu just silently said sorry, "I won't force you to understand me," and continued to drag the fuel hose towards the bus. "I'm going to use fire to clear the surrounding slime now. I'll get you out right away." But hearing this, the woman in the car suddenly started screaming, "Uncle, look behind you, quick." Officer Wu looked in the direction the woman was pointing, and found on the overpass above, a blister monster was hanging there. Then that monster climbed down from the overpass. Meanwhile, the uncle in the car was trying to grab the steering wheel, but was stopped by the Hat Man and Xiaoyan. "Kids, let go quickly. I don't have time to wait anymore." Just as he finished speaking, the uncle in the car saw a blister monster chasing Officer Wu. This scene terrified him. To escape quickly, he directly kicked the Hat Man and Piyu Xiaoyan, who were stopping him, off the bus, and Officer Wu, seeing the monster approach, immediately sprayed gasoline on the monster's face. While fumbling in his pocket, his heart suddenly sank. He actually didn't bring a lighter, and that monster also seized the opportunity to pounce on Officer Wu. Fortunately, Officer Wu reacted quickly and dodged the attack. Just then, Blondie called out to Officer Wu, and told him he had a lighter here, asking Officer Wu to lure the monster over. Seeing Officer Wu about to be caught by the monster, Blondie seized the opportunity, and fiercely threw the lighter in front of the monster. The sparks generated from the lighter hitting the ground turned into a raging fire upon contact with the monster, burning the blister monster until it screamed continuously. Seeing the crisis resolved, Officer Wu and Blondie both breathed a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, the uncle on the other side was driving the car towards the shelter, but what he didn't notice was the fuel hose at the back of the car was not retracted. Seeing this, everyone turned their gazes to the nozzle. The nozzle was right in the flames. The next second, it was completely ignited. The flames followed the fuel hose straight to the fuel tank. With a loud bang, the fuel tanker exploded massively. The shockwave from the explosion knocked out everyone except Officer Wu. Just then, a sound of footsteps approached. Officer Wu looked up and saw it was the rescue team from the shelter. "Are you all right? We will take you to the shelter now." Meanwhile, I was having a nightmare in the shelter. In the dream, Jinju Bing had already turned into a monster, grabbing my hand, constantly questioning why I didn't save him. Every time this happened, I would wake up startled from the dream. At the same time, a sharp pain came from my palm. I clearly remembered before I fainted. My right hand had already grown blisters, but just as I was about to remove the bandage to see, a staff member came looking for me, and returned my personal belongings. After finding out my phone was out of battery, the kind young man quickly went to the room to get me a charger. Just then, my hand suddenly started to throb with pain. Turning my head, I saw a homeless man kneeling on the ground in pain, vomiting continuously. The more pain the homeless man was in, the more intense the pain in my palm became. Obviously, the pain in my hand was related to that homeless man. Suddenly, the homeless man spat out a large mouthful of blisters, then curled up on the ground in pain. The young man nearby, seeing this, was about to close the door, but the next second, the homeless man suddenly got up again, grabbing the door frame tightly with both hands, wanting to squeeze into the room. "Don't close the door, quick, save me. My stomach feels like it's on fire right now." Seeing the door about to be pulled open by the homeless man, after hesitating for 2.5 seconds, I finally decided to go forward and help. I grabbed a fire extinguisher from the corridor, and ran towards the homeless man. I knew doing this wouldn't be much use, but I couldn't just watch someone in need die. Perhaps hearing my footsteps, the homeless man stopped his actions, and turned to look at me. Seeing this, I tried to persuade the homeless man to calm down, saying I would go call the medical team for him immediately, but the homeless man had already lost his sanity. "What? You're telling me to calm down now? You bastard. You're not the one who's infected. Why don't you try it? See if you can calm down." With that, he lunged fiercely at me. This action startled me. I immediately raised the fire extinguisher, and sprayed dry powder at the homeless man. But the homeless man's movements did not stop because of this. Just as he was about to pounce, the top student, Issa, suddenly arrived, and knocked the homeless man down with a fire hose. Li Yenyu, are you an idiot? How can a fire extinguisher deal with a monster? At this moment, the young man from the room earlier came out, constantly rubbing his hands. The next second, countless blisters drilled out from under his skin, then quickly spread to his face. Seeing the blisters had spread, the young man wanted to cry. He knew very well the consequences of being infected. Soon, a team of fully armed rescue personnel arrived. Issa and I quickly raised our hands, indicating we were not infected. Seeing this, the rescue personnel turned their attention to the homeless man and the young man. After confirming they were infected, they directly used flames to clear them. Seeing this, I quickly stepped forward to stop them, but the next second, a flamethrower was pointed at my head. You two need to come with us, and you cannot have contact with us during the journey. Then Issa and I were taken to the inspection team. Recalling the scene of the homeless man and the young man being cremated alive, Issa's hand couldn't help but tremble. How could they do this? Even if people are infected, they can't just burn people alive. And I was still feeling guilty about what happened earlier, and apologized for involving Issa in this. Li Yenyu, you still know to say sorry. I really can't understand. It was so dangerous just now, and you still thought of going over to help. Are you really crazy? Hearing this, I choked up for a moment, because I was afraid. He had become like that because of me. That young man said he would help me borrow a phone charger. He went there because of me. If it weren't for me, maybe he would still be alive. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back and help me. Instead of just abandoning me. Thank you, Issa. But Issa, upon hearing this, looked disgusted. Don't say such mushy things to me. It gives me goosebumps. If I had known, I wouldn't have bothered with you earlier. Just then, a medical staff member walked in, and informed us we could pack our things and leave. But just as we finished packing and were about to go back, a medical staff member suddenly called out to me, Li Yenyu, take off the bandage on your right hand. We need to check it. Hearing this, I instantly tensed up. If they found blisters on my hand after removing it, then they would immediately use a flame thrower to cremate me on the spot. But when the bandage was removed, my palm was perfectly fine, not a single trace of monster parasitic infection. After passing the inspection, Issa and I prepared to go back and rest. Looking at the new batch of survivors brought in by the rescue team, the palm of my hand started to throb again. This meant there was an infected person among this batch of survivors. Suddenly, a red-haired person caught my attention. The closer I got to him, the more intense the pain in my palm became, and that red-haired person clearly had the same feeling. Turning back, he gave me a bloodthirsty look. Just then, an explosion sounded. The shelter also lost power and plunged into darkness. To figure out what was wrong with my hand, I started looking for the red-haired person, but as soon as I reached the second floor, a voice came, "Are you looking for me?" I raised my phone to illuminate the area, and found it was indeed the red-haired person speaking. He was looking at me with great interest. "I sensed you a long time ago, but you wandered around for a long time before locating me. It seems your perception is duller than mine." I whispered, "Brother, are you also infected? Why haven't you turned into a monster? Is it because the cells you encountered had no nucleus?" Hearing this, Red Hair was silent at first, then covered his mouth and laughed loudly, as if he had heard a very funny joke. "To ask such a foolish question. You're really adorably stupid. There are no cells without a nucleus. They're just smaller in volume, and invisible to the naked eye. To be precise, you and I are both currently in an immune state. We are indeed both infected with the blister disease, but due to our own reasons, the blisters lost activity after entering our bodies. Their ability to mutate also disappeared. That's why we haven't turned into monsters." I voiced my question. What if the cells regain activity in the body? Won't I turn into a monster at any time? Red Hair smirked. "That, I don't know." Suddenly, Red Hair leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Friend, let Big Brother give you some advice. Next time you encounter a monster, don't run. Just stay there, and you'll understand many things." With that, he left with the medical staff. I also returned to the hall with a heavy heart, unsure if what he said was true or false. Just then, the rescue team brought back another batch of survivors, and Blondie, Piyu Xiaoyan, and their group were among them. At the same time, Piyu Xiaoyan also saw me in the crowd. and stood there completely stunned. She never expected I was still alive. And I recalled the scene of being abandoned earlier, and the scene of Jinju Bing being devoured by a monster to save me. A surge of resentment welled up in my heart. Pu Xiaoyan began to apologize with a guilty expression. Yenyu, I'm sorry. I was really too scared at the time, so I didn't wait for you. Before she could finish speaking, I directly interrupted. Now that things have come to this, what's the point of apologizing? So hypocritical. It doesn't matter if you abandoned me to save yourselves. But why did you also abandon Jinju Bing? If you bastards hadn't left him there, maybe he'd still be alive. Why did you abandon him? Facing my questioning, Blondie looked disdainful. You ask me why I abandoned that guy Jinju Bing. If it were you, could you trust someone who would stab their good brother in the back? We were waiting for you on the second floor then, but that guy Jinju Bing told us not to bother with you, broke the glass and wanted to escape through the hole, but because he was too timid, he hesitated to jump. Seeing the monsters about to cover the path, in desperation, we had to leave first. So, Li Yenyu, you need to know, the person who abandoned you wasn't me, it was that kid Jinju Bing, and you still consider such a person a brother. When he faced danger, the first one he abandoned was you. Blondie's words were like a thunderclap, exploding in my head. I was unwilling to believe that good brother who had saved my life twice would actually do such a thing. I immediately roared at Blondie, stop talking nonsense. You bastard. Seeing this, the nearby rescue personnel quickly restrained me, then arranged for Blondie and his group to go for quarantine registration. Just then, Officer Wu dragged the previous bus driver back. Seeing only the driver, Pu Xiaoyan asked him where the girls had gone. You didn't abandon them halfway, did you? The driver quickly explained that he had not abandoned them. On the contrary, he even tried to persuade them to stay on the bus and go to the shelter together. But halfway there, those girls, I don't know where they got a safety hammer, threatened me to stop. Helpless, I could only drop them off halfway. In short, this matter has nothing to do with me. Hearing this, Blondie's face darkened. Then he asked the driver where Li Hongmei and the others got off the bus. He wanted to go back and find them, and I was sitting on the ground in a daze at this time. Just then, Issa came over and comforted me. Don't expect anything from anyone. People change. If you, like me, don't easily trust anyone, you won't get hurt. I asked Issa, if I tell you my secret, will you trust me? If one doesn't even have a trustworthy friend, how lonely would that be? But Issa, upon hearing this, immediately stood up, wanting to leave. You're starting to be mushy again. You're so strange. I really don't want to stay with you any longer. Seeing this, I quickly called out to him, telling him not to go that way. Issa asked me with a puzzled look, why can't I go over there? I told him this place would no longer be safe from today onwards. The people who were just rescued, half of them are infected. At this moment, a man nearby suddenly screamed. His girlfriend, who was half dead just moments ago, now stood up stiffly. A person nearby, seeing this, shone their phone light on her, only to discover with horror that woman's face was covered in writhing blisters. Everyone was terrified by this horrifying scene, and quickly exited the tent, shouting, infected person. Everyone, run quickly. For a moment, the shelter was in chaos. Hearing the commotion, Kui Dai Han quickly led Pu Xiaoyan to escape to the second floor, and happened to meet Officer Wu and the Hat Man. Just then, another group of people fled upstairs. Seeing several homeless people standing behind Officer Wu, they directly closed the door. There are homeless people inside. These wandering people are the most dangerous. We can't open the door. Seeing this, two homeless men were furious. Cursing and swearing, they were about to go out and teach them a lesson, but found the door wouldn't open no matter what. Kui Daihan realized, they must have locked the door. Let's go the opposite way. Pu Xiaoyan turned her head, and happened to see across Li Yenyu, who had just run up to the second floor, and Li Yenyu also seemed to sense something. Under the dim light, their eyes met. Suddenly, a monster's roar interrupted their thoughts. The monsters on the first floor were increasing in number. Some had even climbed to the second floor. Pu Xiaoyan and her group quickly retreated, and Li Yanyu's side wasn't safe either. As the monsters approached, his hand started to throb again. Only this time, the feeling was different from before. He could now clearly feel the cells in their dormant state, listening to the sounds made by the monsters on the ground. The pain in Li Yanyu's hand grew increasingly intense. Soon, The cells from the first floor spread to the second floor. Seeing this, the group quickly ran forward, but after running a few steps, they reached a dead end. Blondie and his group also happened to escape to this point. The two groups faced each other but remained silent. An awkward atmosphere instantly filled the entire space. At this moment, several survivors rushed out from behind Li Yanyu. Without a word, they ran towards Pu Xiaoyon's side. Officer Wu quickly stopped them, stating he had just come from the opposite side. That side wasn't safe now either, but those few survivors directly cursed. "Who is it? Get the hell out of my way." As soon as he finished speaking, a mass of cells crawled up from behind Officer Wu. Seeing this, Officer Wu quickly gestured for them to retreat, but the path behind them was also completely occupied by monsters. At this moment, Li Yanyu, squatting on the ground, told everyone, "The only way to survive now is to use fire." Officer Wu also reacted immediately, telling them to quickly take out their lighters and set fire to the mats on the ground to repel the monsters, temporarily halting the monsters' further spread. The rescue team, having received the news, arrived at the fastest speed and began using flamethrowers to clear the monsters on the first floor. They would probably reach the second floor soon, but Li Yanyu's situation was somewhat grim. Due to the influence of the surrounding monsters, the reaction in his hand was extremely strong. The bone-deep pain made him tremble uncontrollably. His unusual behavior caught the attention of a woman nearby, but the woman only glanced at Li Yanyu once, and was scared into screaming. At this moment, Li Yanyu was trembling all over, covered in cold sweat, and panting heavily. This guy is an infected person. He looks exactly like the people I saw on the first floor just now. Everyone, get away quickly." Hearing this, Li Yanyu turned to look at the woman. His vision also began to blur. He could sense that in the smoke behind the woman, a monster was hidden. Li Yanyu quickly raised his hand, signaling the woman not to retreat, but the woman thought Li Yanyu was trying to infect her, and immediately retreated, cursing Li Yanyu as a madman. But the next second, her hand was grabbed by something sticky. She turned her head to look, and found the monster was indeed right behind her. Before she could react, she was dragged down by the slime shot out by the monster, and slowly dragged into the darkness. Officer Wu, seeing this, picked up a nearby burning object and threw it directly at the monster, but this was all futile. Once in contact with a monster, survival was impossible. Suddenly, Li Yanyu stood up. Everyone watched him nervously. Jiang Zhishuan nearby asked tentatively, "Li Yanyu, are you infected?" Li Yanyu weakly replied, "No, I'm not infected." Isa nearby asked again, "Then how did you know those people were infected? Don't try to be clever. Tell the truth." Hearing this, Li Yanyu's anger was instantly ignited. "Damn it, what do you want me to say? Since you survived thanks to me, just shut your mouths quietly. Don't look at me with that monster-like attitude. I said I'm not, don't you understand? Instead of wasting time suspecting me, you'd better worry more about yourselves." Looking at Li Yanyu's gaze, Isa seemed to understand something. "Are you saying Hez among us?" Li Yanyu didn't answer, just silently looked at Jiang Zhishuan in the crowd. Jiang Zhishuan panicked, and grabbed Li Yanyu. "You bastard. What nonsense are you talking?" But Li Yanyu still said unhurriedly, "Can't you understand human language? I said you are infected. I didn't know before the pain started, but now I know. The dormant cells in your body are about to become active." But Jiang Zhishuan didn't believe it at all. He just thought Li Yanyu was trying to frame him. "This idiot. Treat you a little better and you get cocky, right?" Seeing the conflict about to escalate, Kui Daihan quickly stepped forward to stop them. "Li Yanyu, that's enough. On what grounds do you say Hez infected?" Hearing this, Li Yanyu's eyes widened. "You think I'm framing you? Anyway, I've already said it. Just wait and see. When the cells activate, will you still ignore what I said?" Just then, the rescue team broke down the door and started clearing the monsters on the second floor, and the woman who was about to be devoured by the monster, seeing the rescue team arrive, quickly cried out to them for help. "Please, save me. Please, I don't want to die yet." But the rescue personnel just coldly replied with 2 words, "Burn it." Instantly, scorching flames burned the woman and the monster, making crackling sounds. But the rescue team seemed to have no intention of stopping. Looking at the crowd huddled in the corner, the rescue team raised their flamethrowers again, and burned several survivors in front who couldn't dodge in time. alive. Seeing this, all the survivors reacted. They weren't here to save people at all, but to burn everyone in the shelter. The crowd was terrified and fled towards the opposite direction, but as soon as they reached the corner, they saw another team of rescue personnel, pointing a flamethrower at a beggar, even though the beggar kept pleading, and raised his hands to prove he wasn't infected. The rescue personnel still didn't intend to spare him. In a critical moment, the Hat Man in the crowd suddenly turned on his flashlight and shone it at them. The dazzling light instantly made that squad leader unable to open his eyes. Coincidentally, at this moment, several more monsters climbed down from upstairs. While they were dealing with the monsters, those few beggars also escaped danger. At this time, Officer Wu ran over, kicking fiercely at the window in front, wanting to lead everyone to escape through the window, and the beggar who was just saved also ran over, saying he knew this terrain like the back of his hand, asking Officer Wu to take them along. But before Officer Wu could consider, that rescue team had already arrived behind the crowd. Raising their flamethrowers, they were about to cremate everyone on the spot. Seeing this, Officer Wu roared, and fiercely smashed the window in front, leading everyone to jump down and successfully escape. The survivors who had escaped death were taken by the beggar to a shelter. Officer Wu told the beggar, "These kids are on a school trip. They have nowhere else to go, so they need to stay here for a while." The beggar was completely unconcerned about this. "I am a person who knows how to repay kindness, so you can stay here as long as you want." After everyone woke up, Officer Wu had already figured out the situation in the shelter. Although some homeless people occasionally came in and out, this place still seemed quite safe. But Issa, on the side, held a dissenting opinion, saying this place should be sealed off first. Otherwise, this place would sooner or later be invaded by dormant cells. However, Blondie stated, "The one we should be most worried about now isn't Li Yenyu. His behavior yesterday was very strange." Issa served. "Forehead, if you ask me, I don't know either. Besides, weren't you guys with him at the beginning? If you're curious, you can just ask him yourselves." "Oh right, you abandoned him before. Wouldn't it be inappropriate to go back and ask him now?" Hearing this, Officer Wu nearby told everyone to stop talking. This matter could be considered slowly later. For now, let's go to the canteen and see what there is to eat. Soon, everyone left one after another. Only the self-blaming Pu Xiaoyan remained in the room. She went to the nearby bathroom to wash her face. Looking at herself in the mirror, she recalled her experience at the shelter yesterday. The images of those innocent people being burned alive made her squat on the ground and tremble subconsciously. After calming down, she prepared to go back to the third floor to rest, but happened to see Li Yenyu coming downstairs. Their eyes met. Pu Xiaoyan spoke first. They're eating in the basement canteen now." But before she could finish her sentence, Li Yenyu walked right past her. Pu Xiaoyan turned her head, and found Li Yenyu had already reached the main entrance on the first floor. To avoid infecting others, Li Yenyu decided to leave this place alone. But just as he was about to open the door, Pu Xiaoyan rushed over and grabbed him. "Yenyu, where are you going with your bag? Do you know how dangerous it is outside now?" But the next second, he was flung away by Li Yenyu. "Don't touch me. I don't even know if I'm infected myself, so don't come near me." With that, he prepared to push open the door and leave. But just then, several homeless men walked in. At the same time, Li Yanyu's hand began to throb. Sensing danger, he immediately pulled Pu Xiaoyan and ran back to the canteen, wanting to inform everyone to leave. But the next second, those homeless men walked in. "Where do you think you're running? What kind of place do you think this is, that you can just barge in? Big brother, caught another one here. Brothers, we're in for a treat tonight." Seeing Issa caught, Blondie told them to let go immediately, otherwise, he wouldn't be polite. Just then, the beggar uncle arrived. "Let go of him, all of you. They are my guests." Hearing this, those homeless men released Issa, then followed the beggar uncle to the canteen to discuss the right to use the shelter. The two underlings nearby started to snicker, saying the people could stay, but only those girls. After all, they had many uses. Hearing this, the beggar uncle's face turned cold. The next second, he knocked down the person who spoke, and slowly said, "I owed them a favor before, so this matter cannot be resolved according to your wishes." Li Yenyu, hiding behind the door, saw everything clearly. He had originally wanted to leave directly, but because of the appearance of infected people, He couldn't rest easy about his companions. So he chose to stay here and observe. What are you doing here? Yisa's sudden appearance startled Li Yanyu. Is your hand hurting again? Seeing Li Yanyu shake his head in denial, Yisa continued. At first, I was still suspicious about your hand. But this time, seeing them use fire to eliminate the monster, I understood. Your hand must have been infected and then burned. The necrotic cells left you with after effects. So whenever you see an infected person, your hand hurts, right? Li Yanyu was somewhat surprised. He didn't expect Yisa's observation skills to be so strong. He could guess more than half of it correctly just by speculation. By the way, what are you doing with that bag? Are you going out? Li Yanyu stated. He would leave after confirming a few things. Oh right, Yisa. Since you don't believe me anyway, why don't you stay with them? Facing Li Yanyu's question, Yisa paused for a moment and then spoke. I never said I didn't believe you. Otherwise, let's go out together later. Hearing this, Li Yanyu was first stunned, then hesitated and said, now is not the time. Let me assess the situation first. Yisa was suddenly a bit annoyed. Was I just rejected? That really hurts my pride. Li Yanyu explained it wasn't what Yisa thought. What I hesitated about was if I really left like this, what would happen if my classmates were in danger? Hearing this, Yisa suddenly became furious, grabbed him by the collar, and dragged him upstairs. Li Yanyu, you seem to have some misunderstanding. Among them, you're just someone who might be infected. Li Yanyu didn't understand why he helped his classmates. Would make Yisa so angry. Didn't you also help me at the shelter that time? Yisa explained. Back then, I even knew the locations of fire hydrants and emergency exits like the back of my hand. I wouldn't be like you, saving people when nothing is certain. Is that so, Yisa? What you mean is, if you were abandoned by me in danger, you could forgive me too. But I don't want to do that. With that, Li Yanyu turned and left. Watching him leave, Yisa sighed. What a brainless fellow. But Li Yanyu had just gone downstairs when he happened to encounter those few homeless men who had been beaten violently by the beggar uncle. They were looking for a place to vent their anger, so a few of them wanted to teach him a lesson to let off steam. Just then, Yisa arrived. Uncles, be careful. This guy has symptoms of an infected person. Upon hearing he was infected, several people quickly moved away. Looking at Li Yanyu's puzzled gaze, Yisa explained, I'm not helping you because I like you. If we can clear out the infected here, staying here together is also a good choice. But if there really is a chance to leave this place, then come out with me. Then the two returned to the canteen, and happened to pass Blondie, who was going to save Li Hongmei. Suddenly, Blondie stopped. He remembered what happened at the station earlier. At that time, Li Hongmei was also trapped on the second floor by monsters. Just when Blondie didn't know what to do, Li Yanyu rushed in and lured the monster away, saving Li Hongmei's life. Thinking of this, Blondie said apologetically, I'm sorry about that time. I caused you a lot of trouble. At this point, I don't expect your forgiveness. Oppa then left the shelter. Suddenly, Pu Xiaoyon's and Officer Wu's argument was heard. Officer Wu, just let me go with you. My friends are in danger. I can't just stay here by myself. I want to help too. Hearing this, Li Yanyu's face darkened, but Yisa said disdainfully, what good can you do by going? It'd be good enough if you don't cause trouble. Officer Wu also nodded in agreement. Yisa is right. It's safer for you all to stay here. After saying goodbye to the beggar uncle, he chased after Blondie to meet up with him. At this time, Li Yanyu lowered his head, thinking to himself, friends are in danger, so I can't just ignore it. Then what about me and Jinju Bing? Aren't we too? Just then, two homeless men started fighting. The beggar uncle, seeing this, quickly went to mediate. But the next second, a sharp pain shot through him. Looking down, he found his abdomen had been pierced by a beer bottle. He had fallen into a trap. This was a play acted out by several homeless men to get rid of him. Hey, old Huang, weren't you quite impressive just now? Since you don't agree to our peaceful solution, then we can only resort to a forceful solution. After dealing with the beggar uncle, the entire shelter was under their control. Several homeless men rushed into the canteen. Next, it's time to deal with you guys. Seeing Yisa, falsely claimed Officer Wu and Blondie went to the shelter to get supplies. If you don't hurt us, then the supplies will definitely be split with you half and half. For the uncles, this is a sure win, right? Fatty knew the scarcity of food in the apocalypse, so he agreed to Yise's proposal, then locked them in the canteen. "You'd better have your friends come back quickly. If I don't see the supplies tonight, your fate will be the same as that person behind you." After Fatty left, Li Yenyu suddenly stood up and said coldly, "The infected person outside is about to transform." As soon as he finished speaking, a homeless man outside the door began to tremble. His breathing also became rapid. Meanwhile, on the other side, Blondie expressed his gratitude for Officer Wu's willingness to help him. Officer Wu said he wasn't that old, so don't call me uncle. My name is Xia Wanji. You can call me Brother Wanji from now on. Blondie said it felt awkward to call him that, and that name sounded too awful. Officer Wu chuckled. As long as it's better than Kui Dai Han, it's fine. Subsequently, he asked Blondie about his relationship with Li Hongmei. Why would he still think of saving her in this situation? Blondie was silent for a moment. He hadn't answered Officer Wu's question at the gas station earlier. Now that the situation was so dangerous, it was uncertain whether he could make it back alive. So he decided to tell Officer Wu that secret. When he first started high school, Blondie went through a rebellious phase. Back then, he hung out with a group of hooligans, skipping class, fighting, and had an inexplicable hatred for school. He just felt every day was extremely empty, until one day. Li Hongmei's appearance changed everything. Li Hongmei, who wasn't very close to him, greeted him, and introduced Blondie to her mother, super athletic. Blondie, who had always been unnoticed at school, felt an unprecedented warmth surge through his heart at this moment. Hongmei's mother was also very happy. "He's quite handsome. Our Hongmei, please take good care of her from now on." Looking at Hongmei's sincere smile, Blondie nodded and left. In the days that followed, Hongmei's family took great care of Blondie, and Li Hongmei also started sticking to Blondie every day, talking to her. Their relationship gradually warmed up. "Hey, Kui Dai Han, do you know the meaning of the word destiny? It means fate. I love it. It's so romantic." But Blondie always acted impatiently. "Millimeter, got it, don't disturb my sleep." Hearing this, Li Hongmei hummed softly. When Blondie woke up, he found Li Hongmei had already written that word on his hand. With Hongmei's company at school, he was no longer lonely. But after returning home from school, looking at the empty room, this desolate atmosphere made Blondie feel extremely empty again. His parents divorced very early, leaving only him and his mother to depend on each other. He picked up the 60 yuan living expenses his mother left on the table, went to the convenience store and bought a bowl of instant noodles, but happened to run into Li Hongmei, who had just finished cram school. "Kui Dahai, what are you doing here?" Then the two walked side by side on the road. Hongmei chatted on as usual. Just then, a rice cake shop caught Hongmei's attention. "This shop looks so delicious. Kui Dahai, do you like stir-fried rice cakes?" Blondie shook his head, but still bought a portion and ate it with Hongmei. How can a boy just eat instant noodles? Eat more of this. Seeing Blondie's mouth covered in grease, Li Hongmei laughed happily. After eating, it was getting late. When leaving, Li Hongmei said she would treat him tomorrow at 9 p.m. The next day after school, Blondie rejected the hooligan's invitation to a bar, and walked towards the convenience store. Seeing that it was only a short 5 minutes left until the agreed time of 9 o'clock, he sprinted towards the convenience store. In no time, he saw Li Hongmei squatting on the ground, looking at products. Seeing Blondie's sweaty appearance, Li Hongmei couldn't help but look puzzled, and asked softly, "Did you run all the way here? Why are you sweating so much?" Blondie turned his head away, and replied arrogantly, "He was just running for exercise." "Oh, I ran so much my stomach is empty." Li Hongmei didn't say anything more, just looked at him silently, the corners of her mouth slightly raised, just looking at him silently, his little unwillingness to admit his thoughts. Xuanji took Blondie to a toast shop. The two began to eat heartily. Looking at Li Hongmei gobbling down food beside him, Blondie couldn't help but find her a bit cute. After dinner, the two walked home side by side, but the happy days didn't last forever. When Blondie returned home, he found the house in a mess. His mother was also kneeling on the ground in pain. It turned out she had found out about Blondie's intention to drop out of school. Just as Blondie was about to explain to his mother, he found she was holding a bottle of sleeping pills. Blondie quickly snatched the pills. "Mom, didn't we throw this away before? Why did you find it again?" Hearing this, Blondie's mother's emotions instantly spiraled out of control, cupping Blondie's face with both hands. Can't I? Everyone makes me so miserable, son. You're the one who made me like this, understand? It's all your fault Mom became like this. The scene changes. Blondie had already sent his mother to the hospital for emergency treatment, and he sat alone on a hospital bench, listening to the dripping sound from the floor. He was filled with remorse and self-blame, but more so, resentment towards his runaway father. He walked back dejectedly, and was surprised to find Lee Hong-mei standing under a streetlight waiting for him. Kui De-han, why are you so late? I've been waiting for you for a long time. You haven't been to school lately. Did something happen? Blondie, as if he hadn't heard, walked right past her. Seeing this, Lee Hong-mei grabbed Blondie's hand. The yellow hair seemed to have passed by him without hearing. I'm not in the mood to chat with you right now. Lee Hong-mei didn't understand why Blondie was like this today, as if he had become a different person. Hearing this, Blondie curled his lips into a cold smile. Do you think I consider you a friend? If we weren't in the same class, I wouldn't even bother with you. So please stop pestering me. Get lost quickly. Don't ruin my mood. Watching Lee Hong-mei's retreating figure, Blondie's heart felt like it was being stabbed. During the time he spent with Hong-mei, he was indeed very happy, but Blondie didn't want to drag Hong-mei into his miserable life. He could only use indifference to erect a barrier, hiding all